All right, guys, thank you all for being here. Obviously, great to get a win. But let me start by saying, what a wonderful evening to be able to honor D'Angelo Williams and what he's doing. Obviously, the mammograms for Memphis and D'Angelo Williams Foundation, what he does for breast cancer awareness is absolutely phenomenal. In fact, to be able to see D'Angelo post-game and talk to him about that, it just means everything. And I told our guys, right, you look out there and you see the 20s with the pink on there. The guys wore their pink ties. So anytime we can be awareness to such a wonderful organization, and it's an honor to be able to represent D'Angelo in that type of way. Obviously, wrestling night as well. My night got started on a good note. Not the first two plays of defense, but by being able to see Jerry Lawler and Jimmy Hart. The Tiger Walk was great. Appreciate the fans that showed up. Hopefully we can have a lot more show up for homecoming. Was all said and done, a lot to be left and desired on the field. Certainly have to go out there and execute at a higher level. But when it was all said and done, we found a way. And I told our team, whatever it takes, find a way. And when it was all said and done, we did. We're 6-1. Hopefully our goals and hopes are still in front of us, but we take everything 1 week at a time. We're going to enjoy this for the next 1 hour. So we got 1 hour, and I'll try not to think about it until 5 hours from now and get my mind immediately focused on our next opponent coming here. But a lot to be cleaned up, but when it was all said and done, found a way to win a football game, and grateful for that.
Terry, before you get into the game, what does it mean to get heavy goals in place and become both eligible this early in the season?
You know, Terry, I don't ever want to lose sight of what it means to 11 straight years of bowl games. And I tell the story all the time that 2 years prior to me getting here, nobody in this room anymore, they've probably got run out of town, wrote an article about the university probably dropping football. And to go to 11 straight bowl games, that's a great thing, right? And I don't want to downplay that at all. But what's even better is that's our minimum expectation. And so when the head coach of the football program stood up here and said our minimum expectation is to go to bowl games, and we knew the history of this program and what it was like, that's a great thing. And so we take a lot of pride in being able to go 11 straight years, all right? We're gonna talk about it. We're a limited company, an elite company, and that's something to be very proud of. But when that's when your lowest expectation, hey, this is the bottom line for us, we have to do this year in, year out, that's a great thing. And I'm so glad it's happened. I wish it happened in 6 games, but now it happened in 7. So 6-1. I'm not even going to think about it other than, hey, we're on the right track and we did some good things so far this season. But college football, it's very, very hard. You know, we can look all throughout. And to sustain success, you know, it's a huge thing. I can sit down with recruits. We can talk about programs all the time. They're a roller coaster ride. And, you know, I take a lot of pride in saying this is my 9th year here, right? This is the success we've had. We've been able to maintain it and continue to build. And we've got bright days ahead, right? I don't sit here and say, well, okay, all the chips are pushing it. No, we're doing some really good things. And to me, that's exciting because we know how hard it is week in and week out in college football. So credit to all those that came before us, credit to the players that were on those teams before us, credit to the guys that are continuing to be part of this wonderful culture that's allowed us to go to bowl games.
Sam, late in the game, you have, I think, a 4th and 4. You can either go forward in the game or kick the field goal. Tell me what went behind the decision to kick the field goal, and then how cool was it to see Tristan step in and not that?
Yeah, it's tough thinking, right? Like you kick the field goal, you go up 8, so that means they need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. 2-point conversions are roughly 50%, right? I knew they'd still have to drive the field had we missed the field goal because they'd still need a touchdown at that point, right? A field goal wouldn't have tied it. So all that goes in. We use analytics to a certain sense, but sometimes I use this small noggin up here and make the right decision myself. Had great faith in Tristan to be able to go out there and do it. It really puts the odds back in your favor if you're able to make that kick, right? We knew that he was kicking the ball off well. They'd have the ball from the 25 with roughly, 50 seconds left in the game to find a way. I wish we didn't even have to let him kick that goal. If we did what we were supposed to offensively, we would have gained 6 yards, gotten the first down, going down, hit a knee for victory, and we would have been here a little bit sooner. But proud of him. I think it was the right decision, even looking back on it. I'll probably do the exact same thing. And man, Tristan stepped up in a big way. We know how phenomenal he's been on kickoffs, and then we saw what he was able to do with the field goal as well.
Yeah, well, Coach, you mentioned D'Angelo Williams at the beginning. There's been a lot of elite running backs that have come through the University of Memphis. So what's it say about Mario Anderson that he tied these single-game touchdown records?
Yeah, look, that's great. I'm so proud. I hate singling out single individual accolades because a touchdown record like that, I'm going to give credit to the bigs, right? The wide receivers block on the perimeter, the quarterback putting us in the right situation, the tight ends doing what they're supposed to. But look, proud for Mario to be able to do that. That was part of the recruitment of him. You know, during his recruitment, he visited Oklahoma, Southern Cal, and Memphis. And, you know, years ago you would say, why is the guy ever coming to a place like this? And look, we can sell him on the history of our great running backs. You know, I try to ignore whatever goes on the video board because usually it's my annoying voice talking about, right, don't drink and drive, or my radio show. But I always hear the highlights, and most of the highlights of our NFL players are running backs. And so that's a great thing, you know. And you know, D'Angelo was just out there, listening to him, shaking his hand, and asked for his family to be able to meet Mario. So that's a great thing. You know, he's running really hard, and when he runs hard, he's a really good running back.
In your previous wins, you guys have scored in the 20s, but the offense didn't necessarily need to score that much. Well, in this game, they needed to, and they answered the call. How do you like the way your offense responded to what most effective?
Well, I got tired of you asking me questions on Mondays. What's wrong with our offense? You know, that's more than anything. I just said, all right, guys, let's get Frank so he doesn't have to ask me about the offense on Mondays. Tired of him and, you know, Jonah are going to ask about it. No, we just got to, and here's the great thing. Let me supersede that with this. Like, we left a lot more points out there. So I told you guys, if we win every game 2-0, I'll take 100 2-0 wins. Now, the fans may think I'm nuts, but we'll take it, right? And Seth may want to run me out of town for saying that, but we'll take as many of those type of wins as we can. And sometimes it's going to take it, right? Like last week, our defense won the football game for us, right? This week, the offense did what they needed to do to find a way to win the football game. Obviously, we talked about the production of the running game, right? We hit some explosive pass plays when they did it. They still showed some drop 8. And guess what? We still left a lot of plays out there. And that starts with me and our play calling. We got to be better with that stuff to put our players in a better situation and to go out there and perform at a higher level. But it was good to see the offense kind of get back in rhythm. Now, you talk about those very first 2 plays on defense. I'd sub anything in the world. That's like the worst feeling. That's like death to me, right? What happened on those first 2 plays on our defense. But offense found a way to ring the bell and answer it, and when it was all said and done, win the football game.
Ryan, you just mentioned the explosive pass plays on offense, right? This is obviously last play in the past. We asked, you know, this in the past, the touchdown to Demir, a bunch of plays blocked, a bunch of big time catches. Was something different? Like what kind of allowed that to happen?
Look, I know you guys don't think we practice the heck out of those things. We're also going to take what the defense gives us to a certain extent. We want to be the ones that dictate what they're going to do. But if they're in drop 8 and playing top over and saying, hey, we'll give you 100 5-yard catches, we're going to take that, but we just got to be efficient. You know, in games past, we've had some efficiency with those and had those 12 to 14 play drives, and they've been effective. In other games, we've had a drop or a holding call or some type of self-inflicted wound that hadn't allowed us to stay ahead of the sticks. This game, when those opportunities were there, for the most part, we were able to hit on them. And what I love is, you know, our captain over here, our quarterback's going to tell you there's some passes that he still could have hit on. And that's what I appreciate. So we're going to go back to work on tomorrow, and then on Tuesday find ways to continue to hit on the explosive pass plays. Bless you.
Coach, I was going to ask you about wrestling.
No, please do that. I'd much rather ask about wrestling than the
I want to go back to the first 2 plays on defense.
damn.
What adjustments did y'all make? Because it seems like after those 2 plays, he was kind of corralling.
You know, I think a lot of it, obviously the very first play was a fly sweep to Sheffield, who's obviously a tremendous football player. And we took poor angles, and we didn't, you know, we found ourselves that we lost the edge of the defense. And so, obviously, he's a tremendous football player, and they out-executed us on that play. And then you go back, and then they, you know, ran the waggle and hit him again on deep pass, and we weren't where we needed to be in coverage. So the very first 2 plays were lack of execution. And sometimes it's take a deep breath, right? We're really, really capable of stopping this stuff, right? Let's figure it out, whether it's a play call, whether it's tackling, whether it's our eyes. You know, because I did think the defense had a good week of preparation, and sometimes you can have a great week of preparation and you get hit in the mouth, and that's what happened. We got punched in the face those first 2 plays of defense, but they responded, and they did some really nice things. And ultimately, you know, I said the offense won the football game. You know, Chandler got the pick in the end zone to find a way to win a football game. We could have had more plays out. That offense, we know how explosive they are. I think they were the 4th-ranked offense, passing offense in all of college football. I don't know if we helped them or hurt them with their stats, but they're very, very talented. There's a reason why they had the same record as us. And so let's give credit where credit's due. They're very, very explosive. And, you know, I think we took a deep breath and said, okay, hey, we're capable. Let's settle down. Let's find a way to stop this. You know, you sit there and said, was there anything from the iPads? No, because guess what? I think they ran like maybe 4, I don't know how many plays they ran offensively, but I think there was only 4 repeats in total of what they did offensively. So credit to the defense. They just found a way to get the stops.
Coach, Frank's not going to ask you this question, but I'm going to take over. There was a gap in the game where you guys had like 5 straight drives, 3 and outs. Did the offense seem to feel frustrated at the time, and what was your message to them during that slump?
Yeah, well, look, I think the offense, anytime we go 3 and out for one drive, even if we score 3 and out and score, the expectation for us to score every time we touch the football, and to go out there and be able to do that. So, look, there is those frustrations, but what I love about this group, it's an even kill group offensively, and it starts with the quarterback. You know, it just, hey, we'll be fine. Take it one play at a time. And every time we go back in the huddle, my message is it doesn't really change, right? Go out there and own the football. So I knew if we owned the football offensively, we'd have a chance to win this football game. All right, and then just go execute one play at a time. Let's not look at the scoreboard. Let's just go out there and execute one play at a time. And there's other times, right, where we go out there and get 3 and out. When it was a drop pass, it would have easily been a touchdown. Another play where one of the offensive linemen missed a block, right? Or another play where we get behind the sticks, or maybe a missed throw. All those things are part of what accumulates. If it's all in one person, it's my job to make sure we're fixing that one person. But it was the accumulation of a lot of people not doing their job to the highest level, whether it's me, the play caller, the O-line, the quarterback, the wide receivers, tight ends. It wasn't just one person. And I think we say, okay, hey, we're so capable, let's line up and continue to play and trust it, you know. And sometimes it's taking what the defense gives us and find a way to execute better.
Time for 2 more, Tim and Jonah.
Back to Anderson. What did it mean to you that he put what happened last week behind him and responded the way that he did?
Yeah, you know, I always tell you guys this, it's not my job just to be a football coach and win football games. Yes, ultimately that's what everybody wants to see. But I think it's my role is to teach these guys life lessons. I really firmly believe that. And I don't know how many head coaches in college football think that way anymore. But ultimately, when it's all said and done, I think if I can make them better men and teach them something so they're eventually better husbands, better fathers, and better citizens, then that's my job. Because when it's all said and done, they bury me to rest. It's not going to have my record on there, right? It's going to maybe he molded young men and did some good things in society. And so when I talk to these kids and a guy like Mario, he understood the ramifications and the mistake he made. And it's not just him learning from it, it's everybody in our entire program. There's 200 people within our program that need to understand the way we do things, our culture, our standards of excellence. So, hey, here's our standards, here's our culture, this is the way we're going to do things, and you better live up to it. Because if you're not going to live up to it and learn from it, you're not going to last in this thing. And what I appreciate about that young man, made a terrible mistake, I'm sorry, I'll get better, whatever you need to do, I understand. And the rest of the players said, okay, hey, he's one of us, he's understanding our culture, our way of being all in and our standards of excellence. And I'm proud that sometimes, you know, all the fans get to see is how the performance in between the white lines, but the young man practiced tail off, shut up, and learn from the mistake, and it's something we'll all learn from, and they understand that this is not part of the way we act.
Last question.
Ryan, we've heard you talk about Malachi before. First of all, what necessitated the changes was key to the officers, and how do you think Malachi played?
Yeah, I think we need to shake up a little bit of things at the offensive line. Keydraw has done some really good things, so I'm not going to discount that, but I thought that we were maybe better opportune for us offensively to move Xavier Hill out to tackle and then let the redshirt freshman go in there and play some guard. And I think we did some really good things. Now, Xavier made some mistakes. Malachi made some mistakes. But we got great faith in both of them. We know Xavier's played almost every position other than center on this offensive line. I know our quarterback believes in him out there at tackle as well. And Malachi did some great things. And that's what you want. I still believe in developing guys on the field. And I think Malachi is one of those that the sky's the limit for him as an O-lineman. And, you know, hopefully we did it without skipping a beat, moving Xavier out to tackle.
Next coach.
Thank you, guys.